here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. You can be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. A lot going on in Chicago with the Bears. College football rankings, big NBA night with the NBA Emeritus Cup starting. Along with Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, I'm Evan Cohen. I should explain why I started the show cracking up for two reasons. One, Smalls blasted the volume in our headset and started shaking, and CC thinks he's seeing ghosts. Good morning, everybody.
No, I didn't see the ghost.
Who saw the ghost?
This was our producer, Nuno. He saw the ghost this morning.
Yeah, I think
I'm on the phone with him earlier today as I'm coming in, and he says he sees somebody in the studio, but it's dark.
Oh.
So either someone was in our studio space doing something nefarious this morning, or there was actually a ghost. There was a paranormal experience happening.
So I wasn't in here prior to 5 minutes before the show, and there's only a few people who are even in our office before we would get here.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's a ghost.
It's not a ghost. It's not a ghost.
Was it you?
No. I know what you're talking about because I was here very early. And I saw Lou, our makeup artist, go in a direction that she doesn't normally go in. And the direction was towards our studio. And the direction was to put something in front of you.
Oh, so it was Lou, not a ghost.
Well, for on my vantage point, it's the room is dark, your studio is dark. All I see is something flashing in front of the camera back and forth a couple of times. And then when they're walking out is when you finally see them in front of the camera. So I'm like, is it being haunted? Like, are you guys haunted?
No, it's going to be something that will now be used against CC that he has nothing to do with. I have a question. Your birthday was on Sunday.
Correct.
How long does your birthday last?
Oh, all month.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you have a cake here.
Yeah.
I mean, Lou brought you a cake.
Happy birthday is not the same thing as Happy New Year.
You get a month?
You get a month for
Obviously.
your birthday. You get a month for your birthday. You only get 3 days to wish somebody a Happy New Year. People can wish me happy birthday through Thanksgiving.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I allow
You
it.
get an entire month for your birthday.
Well, Lou brought you the mango cake that she brought to my house that night
It's going to be so good.
for the hibachi cookout, and I'm going to guess that Lou was the ghost.
Okay.
I think Lou was the ghost.
I don't
Okay.
know. We could have a real ghost.
So what are you now, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo? You got the shawl on and everything to match? You got the mystery machine outside?
I'm reporting.
You're solving ghost mysteries
Yeah,
now?
that's what I'm doing now.
Is this the new thing for the fall with you, the shawls? Like, we got to get used
It's a
to
shawl
that.
fall, y'all.
It's a shawl. Yeah. Like, is that what we're doing this year?
No, not a jar.
Well, I'm going to run out after today, Nuno. I'd like to say I have more, but after yesterday...
Thank God. Thank
You
God
only
you
have
don't
two
have.
shawls?
I got to
God
tell
you
you.
don't have more.
Okay, so yesterday, and people can check back out on Sports ESPN or listen to our podcast, I was ridiculed for what I was wearing.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, Jeff Saturday led the charge on this. My son gets home last night after school and basketball and everything. I walk in, and he goes, "Oh, I like your robe." I said, it's not a robe. What do you mean? And then I was like, all right, at that point, forget it. I'm done. Now, the other thing is, Smalls, what happened to your ear situation just now? Because Cece and I are watching you, and you jumped.
So we have different channels here on this little box in front of us that we plug into, and you can hear different things. But also in Vegas East, they have to coordinate what we hear. So we were coming back from break, and normally we hear the big...
We didn't start.
Well, normally we're hearing the big intro to the show, and I
Right.
said to you guys, do you hear anything? Because I don't hear anything. So I said to Vegas East, hey guys, I'm not hearing anything. And I had turned it up because I thought it was too low because someone had sat in my seat last night. Left a lot of crumbs here too, by the way.
yeah.
I don't appreciate that. Maybe that's why the ghost is here. Maybe it's a big time rat looking for the
Gotcha.
crumbs, you know?
Gotcha.
But anyway, I cranked it up because I couldn't hear anything, and then they plugged it in, and all of a sudden I got the big open.
Yeah.
and
We have to see if we
startled
can, if
me.
we have the surveillance tape of you jumping up on that. If we have that, because that was amazing to watch. All
For
right.
you, it hurt my ear.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right. Obviously, the Bears fans jumped up yesterday, and the NFL world jumped up yesterday when the Chicago Bears made a move that we all saw coming, somehow they didn't see coming.
They're seeing ghosts of failed quarterbacks past.
That's true. They fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. He was there for a whopping 9 games. They're 4-5 this year. They've lost 3 games in a row. In those 3 games, they've scored a total of 27 points. Mark Silverman, Sylvie, Waddle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000, weekday afternoons, joined Carlin versus Joe noon until 3 Eastern here on ESPN Radio yesterday and gave us this breakdown of what happened here with the Bears.
Other Bears front office people have died by taking the blue pill. They have paired John Fox with Mitch Trubisky only to get John Fox fired and then bring in Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy doesn't like Mitch Trubisky, so they get rid of Trubisky, and then they draft Justin Fields. Only then Justin Fields and Matt Nagy don't mesh, so then they fire Matt Nagy. They pair Justin Fields with Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus doesn't like Justin Fields, so they get rid of Justin Fields. They're never paired together. So they know by taking this blue pill, you're going to die. So they said to Ryan Poles, do you want to take the blue pill or the red pill? If you take the blue pill, you're going to die. Ryan Poles said, give me the blue pill.
Sylvie's not wrong in anything he's saying. I want to also point out that Sylvie reported yesterday that there were players, veteran players, that went into the head coach and general manager's office, in this case Eberflus and Ryan Poles, and said, we got to make a change at OC. How come they couldn't see this coming, but we all could? How does that make sense?
What do you mean? During the season or prior to the season?
Before the season. We all knew this was not going to work this way, that they kept the head coach and thus the coordinator in no man's land voluntarily, or in Sylvie's words, they took the blue pill. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And it has to be, if it's confounding for us, imagine how Bears fans feel. Because as Sylvie just outlined, this is copy paste of what we've seen from the Chicago Bears time and time and time again when it comes to development of their quarterback prospects. And what I can't understand is how it got this way so quickly. When Courtney Cronin, who obviously covers the Bears for us and has been all over this, I've been reading everything that she's been putting out because she's had so many great inside details for this. But one thing that really stuck out to me is that when they went through this process to hire Shane Waldron, one of the reasons why they settled on him and not somebody like a Cliff Kingsbury, who not only had prior success with Caleb Williams, is now having a lot of success with the guy that was taken after Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. She posted this. She said that Matt Eberflus said that Shane Waldron stood out as a candidate because of his ability to communicate and his ability to make things clear and concise in his presentation and the way he did it. He was clearly the guy that we thought was best for us. Then, after the season starts, when they asked what was the problem with Shane Waldron, or at least one of them, one of the big problems was in-game communication. How is the thing that you said made him stand out from all these other candidates who were having success elsewhere was the communication? And then 10 games in, that's one of the things that is his demise. I can't understand how they assessed this so wrong and how they had the plan that went bad so quickly, knowing that they've already seen how this story ends.
Yeah, the problem is when you decide to stay with the head coach that's going to be on the hot seat, you don't attract the best and the brightest candidates when it comes to offensive minds that are going to be chiefly responsible for developing the quarterback. So that's what you have. And it's unfortunate for Caleb Williams because now everybody is looking at his uneven start as an indictment on him. And I'm not going to say that he's blameless in all of it, but I feel like the infrastructure around him is mostly responsible for his inconsistent performance. And now that you see all of these other rookie quarterbacks playing well, guys like Bo Nix and guys like Jaden Daniels, and what we're seeing from Drake May, albeit a small sample size, that is putting more pressure on the situation. And quite frankly, it's exacerbating the issues that the Chicago Bears as a franchise are dealing with right now.
Well, the players, some of them at least, CC, agree with you because Sylvie on with Carlin versus Joe yesterday, Waddle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000, had this to say about some of the Bears players and who they're asking for a quarterback.
Sheffy's had this as well, that it's been discussed whether or not to bench Caleb Williams. And some of those players have suggested going with Bagent, the backup, whether that's out of safety or not, or that's because they think the offense would run better. But it's ridiculous. And again, this is what happens when you give these players who have not won a loud voice.
Yeah, I fought this off for a while, the idea that the Bears were as much of a hot mess as they are now, because I wanted to believe, hey, it's going to be okay. They're hovering around 500, developing quarterback. We knew that there was an odd thing going into the season. They chose the wrong path for Eberflus. They didn't extend him nor fire him. They bring in an offensive coordinator that, per CC, the entire time did not attract, as you said, the best and the brightest. They probably now retroactively rushed Caleb Williams to play. Mm-hmm. And now Ryan Poles didn't see this coming, and Bears players are now walking in to the offices and saying, can we get the other guy? I don't know that they're Jets-Cowboys level of hot mess.
Are they putting their jersey on the desk for BJ coach?
For Rudy? I mean, my God. They're not Jets-Cowboys level, but like if the Chiefs are here and everybody else is below, Jets and Cowboys are here and everybody else is below, the Bears are on that everybody else is below level now with hot mess.
You know the problem? The Chicago Bears don't trust the coaches to put them in positions to be able to have success. Ooh. Remember, we heard about this a couple of weeks ago where they went to head coach Matt Eberflus and said that Shane Waldron needed to take the training wheels off of the offense. And essentially he did, or it looked like he did, because they went out and had great performances against the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. No one failed to note that those were the two worst pass defenses in the entire league. But I digress. I guess the whole point is they have shown time and again that they have to take the onus. They have to take it upon themselves to try to direct the change that the team needs in order for them to have success on the field. And that's not a good place to be as a franchise when your players feel like they know better than the coaches that are responsible for putting them in positions to have success.
I can't even imagine what that would feel like as a player, how demoralizing that would be.
That's not my job. As a player, That's not my job. That's your job.
What's not your job? Explain.
As a player, I shouldn't have to go to the head coach to say what the offensive coordinator should or shouldn't be doing. I shouldn't have to go to the head coach and suggest, hey, we might need a change at quarterback because the guy that you drafted with the number 1 overall pick ain't seeing it in terms of the scheme and finding the open receivers, and he's not executing our offense. I shouldn't have to go as a player to explain that to the head coach or to the powers that be.
Did you ever do that?
Hell no.
Did you ever see
with
somebody
his coaches?
do that?
I didn't have to do that.
Well, it's more about the players. It's not about the coaches.
But I don't think he would ever feel like his coaches weren't putting him in the position to succeed.
No, and I've been on 3 different teams, and we had leadership councils on all of them. So there will be healthy and open dialogue with the coaches. You know, tell me what you're seeing, tell me what's happening. But it would always be the inquiry from the coaches. It would never be the players squadding up and going into the head coach's office or squadding up and going to the general manager and say, hey, we need to make this change because right now this season is getting away from us. That's an indictment on Matt Eberflus. The players are telling you they don't trust the coach. Where do you go from there as a franchise if that's how the players in the locker room feel?
How about this?
And let me say one more thing about what Waddle and Sylvia had to say. When it comes to whether or not they should bench Caleb Williams, it could be a conversation in the front office and amongst the coaching staff that they're doing that in the best interest of the development of Caleb Williams. Ain't no player in that Bears locker room thinking about the long-term development of Caleb Williams when they talk about benching him for Tyson Bagent. Ain't none of them thinking about that. You know what they're thinking?
Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have breaking news from the NFL, where several big moves are already making waves this season. 2 head coaches have been let go earlier than expected, Robert Saleh of the Jets and Dennis Allen of the Saints. Rumor has it that at least 3 or 4 more head coaches are on the verge of facing a similar fate. Let's break down who's on the hot seat and why. Orange Circle Matt Eberflus of the Chicago Bears. After a series of questionable decisions, Coach Eberflus seems to be under the microscope. Despite getting a second chance this season, the Bears are struggling, and with a challenging second half of the schedule, it looks unlikely that Eberflus will keep his job for long. Green Circle Doug Peterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Trevor Lawrence on a big contract and a roster full of talent, Peterson has failed to bring consistent results. The Jaguars have lost 13 of their last 16 games, a performance the front office simply can't overlook. Red Circle Brian Daboll of the New York Giants. After a surprising first season, the Giants have regressed. Now, they're the lowest scoring offense in the league, with 5 straight losses under their belt. Daboll might be just a step away from the chopping block. Blue Circle Mike McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys. While Jerry Jones is known for his patience with coaches, the current crisis in Dallas and the enormous contract for Dak Prescott might push McCarthy's era with the Cowboys to an end. Police car light. And in breaking news, Dak Prescott is out for the rest of the season, and Cooper Rush hasn't been performing. This opens the door for Trey Lance to step up as the starting quarterback. Surrounded by talent in Dallas, Lance will look to make the most of every snap, potentially leaving a lasting impression in the league and setting himself up for a solid backup contract, similar to Sam Darnold's role. Will Trey Lance revive his career? Will we see more coaching changes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates in the NFL. This format is designed to capture viewers' attention and keep them engaged with the latest NFL news and rumors.